Okay, so this chapter review on top of One Piece chapter 1065. Yeah, I'm now extremely late with this review. Yeah. So anyway, the chapter's name is called Egg Island, and the Straw Hat Pirates are on Vegapunk's own created island, and obviously lots of things happen uh, in this chapter. So I'm gonna try my best to explain as much as I can about this chapter. Okay, so we have four groups. Uh, one group, two members are on the ship, the Straw Hat Pirate ship, and then we have the and Sorrow and Brooke, and then we have Frankie, Nami, Nico Robin, and Sanji and Usopp in one group, and the other group is Jinbei and Monkey D. Luffy. Uh, yeah, so and obviously then we have Yuri Bunny. And yeah, so what happened here is that there's some of the Straw Hat Pirate in different location in the island learns about the future, the future. In this, for example, they see the one thing they see is a stair that move, like you when you go to a shopping center, you can go on some stairs and go up to next level. I don't know exactly the name in English, but they're moving stairs, like in shopping centers. And obviously, one of the Straw Pirates asked, "How do this whole island get all this energy?" And obviously, Vegapunk 2 explain that the island goes on fire, and then some I think there's then other Straw Pirates ask, it's not that means lots of research to create all this fire for all this kind of mechanical, all the machines to move all these kind of objects in this island, all this kind of thing. Um, and then obviously one interesting thing, they come to a big metal door, and they Vegapunk 2 just go through the big metal door, like almost like a ghost. And so the thing is that it's a combination of like metal, but in the same time it's like you can just pass through it. So when they come through the big door, the door turns to solid metal, and that is with the group with Nami, Nico Robin, and Sanji and Frankie, and then they meet a Serapine, um, and they as a young version of Jinbei, and they fight against Jinbei. They also, I think, Usopp say that Jinbei, that fake Jinbei, that the Serpin version, the Pacifista, used a devil fruit, but we do not know what devil fruit that was. We just know that he said that he used a devil fruit. So that means that they can that the Serpins can get like a clone, like if new use devil fruits. So that obviously because the a quick backstory, like before the Serpins, the world government used the seven warlords of the sea to counter the four emperors, and then the world government decide to cancel the seven warlord of the sea because of all of because of all of that the world government do not feel that the seven warlords of the sea was untrustworthy to still work for them, and so they fire them, and so they try to eliminate them because they don't want to have to rely on pirates when same times the world government fight against pirates. So instead of having human beings like the Seven Wonders of the Sea, they makes like a younger version of them as clones, like clones that are like mindless zombies, working for them without a question. And this is how the Serapines are born, um, because now they have obviously. And the other thing with the Serapines is that the Serapines is based on the race that king are from, the guy that was the right hand man of Kaido's crew, and so they use this kind of ability because the natural thing with that race, King's race, is that they have fire abilities, that natural fire abilities, and so they mix that, because of that. So that is maybe what Usopp think, that Jinbei use fire in a way because of this the king. Yeah, and then after then we meet the same group now. Then we meet Vegapunk. Meet different Vegapunks. Obviously, we meet Vegapunk. I think 6. Wisdom. So we have Wisdom. We have so yeah. This very. I think that is the confusion. Lots of different Vegapunks. Lots of them. Lots of different versions of them. And then we meet Vegapunk 1, and I think Vegapunk 1 is probably the easiest to remember because of his like the helmet. And obviously Vegapunk 1 is very much based on the famous musician, I think this dubstep or techno, I probably say wrong here. It's a very famous guy. Like he's the character, the guy with the helmet. Like I think maybe Death Mouse or something like that. Yeah. So, anyways, lots of information in the same place. Bit confusing. Bit confusing for me, anyways. Yeah. And then we come. Then Vegapunk say, "Do you know that about talk about an ancient civilization that was I think 900 years old. I maybe say wrong. Maybe 600 years old civilization." And then in the same time we see Monk Luffy and the other group, the group part 3, walking in like a jungle, and you see a big like a rusty metal giant, like almost like a combination of like a big knight Viking robot metal character. So the whole thing is, I think, is very interesting because we have all of the Vegapunks, and who really create Vegapunk. Who is, for example, do we have a Vegapunk 0, or is Vegapunk 1 the final Vegapunk of all of the Vegapunks, or do we have a 0-1, or do we have is Vegapunk, because it looks like all of the Vegapunks is like some kind of a machine in a way. So maybe we have some character that have created Vegapunk. The Vegapunk is not the creator of himself, but the Vegapunk have created the rest of him. So what I mean here is that all of like Vegapunk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think that is the whole numbers, is created from Vegapunk 1, from beside himself, and there's some person that we don't know have created Vegapunk 1, and something happened to that person, and that person maybe have died or something happened, and because of the evolution of Vegapunk 1 gives him the capability to create own life when as a machine, but still create other his own life as other Vegapunks. So that can be a possibility here, that the ancient civilization is the creator of Vegapunk is from that ancient civilization, because that ancient civilization was so high tech that they was totally, that is just my speculation, they was just very much capable to just make something that advanced to create own life when it was not created, what it was himself created. Yeah, so it looks like that civilization that was 600 or 900 years old, that civilization in One Piece was very much based on machines. So that is a possibility here, that the Vegapunk we think about is not the creator, that the creator from the start was some other person. I don't know, it's just pure prediction here. It's lots of I think lots of information. I think the important part, I think personally, is about the ancient civilization that they talk about very quickly, and then about the battle between the Seraphim version of Jinbei against some of the Strat Pirates. And we know that the real Jinbei is with Monk D. Luffy and Jewelry Bonnie. So that, and obviously, so they are not, and obviously then obviously Vegapunk 1 have captured some of them, because he have turned the whole floor that they stand on to magnetic fields. That means that they cannot move. So the clothing they have on them, the shoes, have some kind of metal in them that makes them so they are locked in that magnetic fields. Yeah, I think the chapter was is okay chapter. The only thing personally I don't really like with that chapter, that was there was so much information, and same time was lots of things that was maybe unnecessary in some point, because it was so obviously One Piece is very complex. It's very much obviously different things and all this kind of thing. Some where they have to show, but obviously I don't think many people will will really remember all of the details. For example, about that one of the Vegapunks, that the girl that eat lots of burgers and all this kind of that part. For example, the other two smaller Vegapunks in the lab, talking about the Seraphins and all with the same time with Vegapunk 2 and all of this kind of thing. I think it's just yeah, it's lots of information. It's like lots of to remember all of the details. Really, like, is very much personally, my personal opinion, the chapter was okay. I just think that maybe the Vegapunk that we talk so much about, it maybe is not really his own. That maybe Vegapunk, because we have still not yet meet any Vegapunk that is human in that sense of just normal human. This one, that is what I mean. It's not yet. This is the reason why, personally, I think the Vegapunk 1 is some other person have created him from the ancient civilization, and from that, when the ancient civilization disappear in some way, he continue on to make a different version of himself, like logic, wisdom, and all this kind of thing, to split himself into different parts of to his own creation of life, and this kind of thing. So I don't know. It's maybe it's a possibility here that the the high-ranking world government is like the five elder stars, or some kind of old version of pacifistas, but they are still different from the normal pacifistas. For example, the Akuma pacifistas, because the same time is some kind of connection in a way, obviously with Vegapunk and Monkey D. Dragon in a way, and it's like because we know that the Celestial Dragons was not the original rulers, that they overtake their power from somebody else, and maybe that ancient civilization, it was the original in a way rulers, because of that the Celestial Dragons are from space, from space. Yeah, it's very much, it's lots of interesting things in this chapter, and I think yeah, it's lots of interesting things. Yeah, I really hope that we will see some continuation on between Law and Blackbeard next on Friday. Some more information about that. What happened to Law? Probably Law lost that battle. Yeah, probably. Maybe he is captured, and maybe the Strat Pirates maybe gonna save him in some way. But yeah, it's lots of information and lots of things that we're gonna learn more about when the story, more about story when continue on. Yeah.